Hey everyone, this video is going to be a full walkthrough of Epic 7's partially randomized Automaton Tower level 4. I'm going to talk about what devices to look out for and whatever other general advice I can give. We got a comment on one of our previous videos a little while back asking to see a tower run. Sorry this one took so long, baddie. So the first thing you want to do is take a look at the devices that the monsters have active. There's no point bringing a stunner, for example, if the enemies are immune to it. Or if they have a resistance boosting device, you might suddenly prioritize an effectiveness boosting device when offered. After that, all you can really do is put together a balanced team and start it up. A lot of compositions will work fine in Tower. You do want to be flexible and change your team based on what you're offered or the enemies you're up against though. For this run, we'll be using our Benchwarmers account, which may only use 3-star characters. If you're interested in more details, we have a playlist dedicated to following the progress of the account in the top right corner of the video. I'm going to keep all of the footage in the video for anyone who wants to watch, but we're going to speed it up in between choices and my comments so it isn't an hour long and you can more easily follow. So right away we have a choice between 3 solid devices. Counter builds are a good archetype in Tower, and we know that the enemies have an effect resistance device in this rotation, so the middle option is strong too. But because it's a normal rarity device, it's pretty likely we'll see it again even if we don't pick it here. The one on the right is going to be my choice of the 3, because this Tower rotation in particular has a device that has good synergy with it. It's also a very strong device for Commander Lorena that helps your turn cycle. Not great options here for the characters this account has built. I do know that I will most likely need Helga at some point in the tower though, so I'll go with the defense penetration device. In general, this is the strongest option here regardless. Very good on characters like Landy, for example. All really good options here. The first option is very strong for rangers with powerful third skills such as Landy or SSB. The third option allows for crazy snowballing on units like Ball and Sazan or Araminta, who are already very powerful tower characters. The second is the one I'll pick though. I'm using a Soul Weaver with 2 non-attack skills and low cooldowns, so turning them into a team CR pusher is a nice boon. Turn cycle potential is very powerful in tower in general, so stacking sources of it is always good. It's also just the better option for the characters that we have available. Okay, so this is a Snap Pick Exodia piece for this rotation. The buff activation device has incredible synergy with a higher rarity device that increases your damage based on the amount of buffs a character has. The other 2 options are decent damage boosts, but their potential is not nearly as high. Awful for me, pretty lucky if you have one of the characters built. You probably will add the character to your team regardless of which you pick, as they're all strong. The only consideration is that not all floors have a lot of AoE, so if you pick Elena's device, you need to know ahead of time what floors you're picking it for, or you're better off picking one of the other two, which are better generally. Barrier device is very good, especially for our current loadout, because it adds an extra 3-turn buff to our lineup, and we definitely want it to come back as a choice later. But for now, the buff amp device is a snap pick, and we've clearly got our archetype established. Nothing too exciting here. We took defense penetration for Helga earlier, so we'll take the damage boost here. If your team is heavy ice element, the first option is great for improving your survivability. All very strong choices once again, depending on your roster. The first option is by far the best for this tower rotation specifically, because it combos very well with explosive devices, so that's what we'll be going for. It also has a very good combo with our single target attack device and RAS, because it will give him the chance of using his entire kit every time his third skill is up, which means we can instantly put a level 4 explosive device on the field if we're lucky enough to get the synergy. If you have Charlotte built, just snack pick this and watch her carry you to the top of tower in the time it takes us to finish this next floor. Similarly, if you have K-Ron built, snap pick the middle option, turn off his skills, and watch him do the same. We get our first explosive device here, and it's no question the pick. I actually don't like these because they're far too strong, and I feel like you just take them over almost anything regardless of your team, which for me defeats the purpose of Tower's design. Thief device is good once again if you have characters that can abuse it, such as K-Ron. The single attack device is my pick here for the splash damage. Snap pick explosive device once again. If you see an explosive device, you take it. Another snap pick for me because it looks like our comp is pretty locked in based on the synergy we've been given. Taking the extra evasion for my 3 fire characters for extra protection is just worth more than extra crit damage on Lorena. This is actually a pretty hard choice because the Soul Weaver device is absurdly good on debuff floors, but I end up picking the extra turn device for Lorena and to a lesser extent Helga later. It will give Lorena the chance to attack 3 times on the first turn, so she can nearly complete an explosive device by herself at the start of a fight. I take the effectiveness buff this time. It helps counter the effect resistance buff that enemies have, and the gear on this account is not the greatest, so it'll be nice to land more defense breaks, strips, and burns. Purely for damage, the back row device is also quite good. Very good Pavel device, if you've got him. I picked the Elemental Advantage device because I am committed to my 3-star pals. Level 2 for our buff device is a really good pickup here, so there's no real contest. The damage stacking device is also really strong, but now that we're so deep into the tower, it's not that likely that we'll actually get to level it up. If you compare the two, it'll take 3 turns for a level 1 damage stacking device to compete with a single buff application of the buff device combined with the buff amp device. Easy defense penetration pick here, it's just the highest damage and the most useful option. Two good devices, but the Knight device is too strong and generally useful to ignore with our current team comp and device synergy. The Ranger device needs specific characters in play to truly shine, and of them, only Yuna is particularly reliable on auto. We do want to level up this single attack device, but the 3rd level of our buff device is too strong not to take. The device alone can now boost any character's damage by 105% every single turn. Really cool device for Sirmia, but Sirmia is a filthy 5-star character. We take the dispersal device because it's the only one we can actually activate. Barrier device is a really strong pickup here. It's essentially a 35% damage buff for the whole team for as long as it's active and when combined with the buff amp device. It's also just some helpful added bulk. Okay, well first of all, don't be stupid like me and pick devices for Helga specifically for this floor and then hit start without bringing her in. Turns out an all-fire team is not too great here. Device-wise, I did consider the crit device for Hazel and Ras, but ultimately took the fire penetration because it's just a better stat to invest in. The buff extension device is incredible, regardless of if you're running heavy buff synergy like I am in this run. If you have mages in your team and you're running buffs, there aren't many things you want to pick over this. Do yourself a favor and target the cannons on this floor. They're very fast and have very high AoE damage output that's hard to keep up with, so you want to take at least one of them out as quickly as possible. For devices, we get our AoE explosive device and there's no discussion to be had about it. Always pick the explosive devices you get offered. Alright, we're on the final floor. Enjoy the epic, nail-biting final battle where Carrot saves the day after a series of unfortunate events. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free and helps our channel out. Leave a comment if you have any questions or need any help with your specific situation. We do our best to respond. Take care everyone, and see you in level 5.